So hey y'all. We are still continuing our series of how I became a gardener. In today's video, or let's backtrack. Last week's video, if you haven't seen that, it will be right here for you. But last week's video, I talked about the life cycles of a worm composting bin. So in this week's video, we're gonna talk about how I learned how to feed them. I call it breeder paste. This is just for future references, okay, for legal references for later on in the future, because I speak it in the name of Jesus. Breeder paste is my idea as the Timber Gardener brand. We talking in the future, I'm speaking it into the future or whatever. This is how I process nitrogen, which is like your food scraps and everything, with the purpose of contributing to zero waste. This is how I feed my worms. So with that being said, let's go ahead and let's get into this video. Let's go. So today we are going to be making breeder paste. So I have my kitchen scraps for this week and also my kitchen aid. It chops and purees food. I use this normally for my kiddos when they were babies and I wanted them to eat very healthily, so I used to use this machine, but now I'm using it in my worm farm. So I'm just taking those kitchen scraps that were accumulated throughout the week from cooking food this week, and then also the kitchen scraps that I use for my display for my thumbnail, placing them into the food processor so that they can start to gain surface area. Next, I also have my leaf mulch, which is a part of the ingredients of our breeder paste. This has natural nutrients and things that the worms could benefit off of, so I definitely want to add that. We add some bananas here, some chopped celery, and then also some potato scraps. And they all work together for the good of the worms. So this is what I called a liquid gold. This is the liquids from leftover pureed food, strictly vegetables only. I like to add it simply to add some juiciness to the mixture because I'm using a lot of dry products. I want to mix it in together with some liquids to be a little bit easier on the motor. And it also helps to mix. The first thing that I like to do is chop them up first, and then later you will see me puree them to give them a better surface area. So what I'm doing is basically grinding them down and then adding more and more so that I can finish this process. And voila, look at that wormy goodness. Not only is it easier for the worms to eat, it's full of natural products that will allow nutrients to be processed through your worm and also into your soil. So now I'm just using this little DIY gadget that I kind of invented on my own time. I use it as a strainer. This is where I separate the solids of my worm food and the liquids of my worm food. If you all would like to use this as a DIY to save you some money, if you're in your beginning stages, I totally recommend it. I would definitely have a video coming out pretty soon for you all. So make sure that you hit the subscribe button so you can hit the notification bell so you can receive that video as soon as I post it, on how I actually made this contraption. And it's very effective, and after this clip, you would definitely see the results. So while I'm adding the food scraps into this strainer, I wanted to make a note that I like to place the food in here so we can separate the liquids from the solids, like I said before. And this is what caused and what creates the liquid gold, and then also the beginning stages or the foundation for the breeder paste. So right now we are actually making two items that are beneficial for not only the worms but the soil and your plants if possible. So it's a win-win, win-win, right? Okay, so 24 hours has passed, and I just wanted to show you all real quickly the results of my little DIY contraption. It has liquid gold in the bottom. Look at that, look at that. What I like to do after this step is to go grab a container and house my liquid gold for whenever I need it. I love to stick my liquid gold in the refrigerator to preserve it, just so I can make sure that the quality of my liquid gold stays intact, and so do the nutrients. So if you are new to the ag world, you'll probably be like, ew, what is that? So that is breeder paste that I've already had sitting. And then this is also the dry mix that I have concocted together to add grit and then also nutrients for my worm babies. I'm not going to disclose this because I'm working on a formula that I would definitely like to share with you all later on in our journey as I actually bring this into fruition. But it is there, it works, my worm babies love it, so I am proud of it, okay? So even though I'm being shady with the actual ingredients, I do want to show you how I mix it up and package it. This works for me all the time. It works for my current worm bins. So I at least wanted to share this with you all just in case you are following along with me and actually doing this yourself. I want to make sure that I follow through with the whole process so you can get a clear understanding, because I'm not withholding information, so I won't tell you everything. I definitely want you all, and I want to encourage you all to do everything on your own. So that's why I produce videos like this. So you will be able to go home and DIY it yourself. Isn't that the whole purpose of worm farming and agriculture and homesteading and become self-sustainable, which is our goal here at OGG? Don't we all want to be able to do all of this stuff on our own and not have to rely on an outside source to bring us life? So I want to definitely show you all how I do this stuff. So I'm sharing. So I wanted to make this note real quickly. I packaged my breeder paste in 16-ounce containers simply because 8 ounces is a good feeding for the worm bin volume that I have currently. So it's easy to measure. 8-ounce containers would be too many containers that I would have to have. 32 ounces would just be too big, and I wouldn't be able to measure it out correctly. And I don't want to overfeed, and I definitely don't want to underfeed in this stage. So I know that if I use half of this container per bin, then I know how many bins I can feed in one session. I also like to pack it down because it is a paste. It stays at like a fluffy consistency, and I want to get the max volume out of the container. So more is better. Now look at your quality worm food. It is crushed up to a very, very small surface area. It has all the goodness that it needs, and it is also packaged by OGG, guaranteed. Okay, look at that. It is full of nutrients. They will love it. Don't you love it? So I wanted to come real quickly to give you all just kind of a behind the scenes of how I package the liquid gold. I don't always keep it in my refrigerator in one big container. I like to visualize it so I can start to practice again the rituals of what I would like to how I would like to live my actual mass production life when it comes to liquid gold. So yeah, I'm just showing you how I package it. I like to squeeze it out of this little container and dilute it in some water. I'll definitely show another video with that. But that is the end of this video. Thank you all so much for tuning in. If you are new here, hello, my name is Aisha Damara. Thank you so much for your attention. I hope I earned it. I do have a video about educating yourself about your red wigglers and how to identify them. I am a current worm farmer. I am raising red wiggler worms. So any information that I learn and I experience, I definitely would like to share that information with possible future homesteaders, those who would like to cultivate their lands, and then also those who are old in the game or wise in the game who would like some new age information. So definitely make sure that you hit the subscribe button so you can hit the notification bell, and I will see you all in the next one.